What's going on, it's Suk and I'm back with a brand new video on SuperDuprTech, and in today's video I shall be showing you what it's like to play a handful of games on the 2023 14-inch M2 Pro powered MacBook Pro. As always, the full spec for the model that I am testing will be left down below in this video's description. Also, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and if you are new around here, then I must ask you to hit the subscribe button, clicking the bell to be notified when a new video goes live. Without any further ado, let's hit the titles. So firstly, let's get into talking about which games were played on this MacBook. These games were Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Minecraft, League of Legends, GTA 5, CSGO, Firewatch, Fortnite, and Hitman 2. Starting off with this display's native resolution minus the menu and notch space atop, at 3024 by 1900, keeping the graphics settings to high, we can see the games which performed the best here were Minecraft, followed by League of Legends, averaging 97 and 95 frames per second respectively. Fortnite and CSGO were the only other two games which averaged above 60 frames per second, which, whilst it's good to see, it's certainly not going to saturate the 120Hz ProMotion display of this MacBook Pro. Hands down, the worst performing games here were unsurprisingly ran on Windows 11 through Parallels. These were Battlefield 5, closely followed up by Hitman 2. Firewatch is a game which hasn't been updated in years, which runs natively on the Mac, and as you can see, it performs fairly weak. Hitman averaged 26 frames per second in dimly lit scenes, and when the scene had a lot of objects lit, it could really average less than half of that, which meant that at times it was more unplayable than Battlefield 5. In totality, I wouldn't recommend playing any of these games other than maybe Minecraft and League of Legends, but even then, it's not like you're saturating the 120Hz display's refresh rate at this resolution with these settings. Therefore, lowering the resolution to 2560 by 1600, it should yield better results. So I lowered to that resolution, and well, it didn't really make much of a difference with some games, whereas in others we see leaps in performance. First, Minecraft and League of Legends fared much better at this resolution, saturating the display's refresh rate, and honestly playing these games feels really good and much smoother. Fortnite performed very well along with CSGO, while Battlefield 5 was now averaging 26 frames per second, up from 18, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, GTA 5, Firewatch and Hitman 2 struggled to average 60 frames per second. Hitman, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Firewatch and GTA 5 were either close to or within that 40 to 50 frames per second average range. Even considering that two of these games were played through Parallels isn't great. In fact, it's quite bad, especially when you compare the price of this laptop to other gaming laptops. Although I'm sure if these games were to be played natively, that it undoubtedly would have performed better had those games been made available to play on macOS. Further to this, I wanted to test how well this MacBook would perform when lowered to Full HD at this resolution, and well, the story continues once again. Minecraft and League of Legends performed the best, which was to be expected, followed up by CSGO and Fortnite, which both averaged 109 frames per second. It was good to see that GTA averaged above 60 frames per second, and considering that if this game was to be played natively on the Mac, I would imagine it to get 60 frames per second at around that 2560 by 1600 resolution. Here's to hoping the next version of GTA is available on macOS. The other games didn't even average 60 frames per second, and so I really wouldn't recommend playing those games on this machine. However, I did want to see how this MacBook Pro would perform once the resolution was lowered once again, reducing it to 1200 by 800, keeping to high graphic settings. We can see that once again, almost all the games averaged above 60 frames per second, other than, well, you guessed it, Battlefield 5. Which once again, I don't want to go over it again, but you shouldn't be playing this game on this MacBook. If I'm being honest, due to the screen only being able to show a maximum of 120 frames per second, for games like Minecraft and League of Legends, I would keep to 2560 by 1600. For Fortnite and CSGO, I would keep to 1920 by 1200, and for other games like Firewatch, Hitman, Shadow of the Tomb Raider and GTA, you really don't want to play them on this machine as the experience isn't great. Although if you lowered the graphic settings just a little and played at 1920 by 1200, you potentially could get away with it. Just know that you won't be taking advantage of that ProMotion display, which you paid over £2,000 for. And don't get me started on Battlefield 5. Perhaps these games perform better on the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Be sure to subscribe for the answer. And so that has been it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you are new around here and would like to be one of the first 5,000 people to do so, then go ahead and subscribe, clicking the bell icon to be notified when a new video goes live. I've already uploaded videos with the M2 chip found within the MacBook Air and the 13-inch MacBook Pro, so if you'd like to see how those machines performed when these games were thrown at it, then be sure to check out the links down below in this video's description. Also, if you still made it to this point in the video, then be sure to go and follow me on my social media, links to which are down below in this video's description. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care and have a good one.